Alright, so I have one of these little Chinese Jeep 125s, and I just had to put a new head on it. Figured this is a good time to show how to check timing on it. You'll take this cover off right here, and you'll spin it around, and you can use a socket like this right here. It's a 14 millimeter. You can spin the motor with this bolt right here, but you get it to line up in the middle right there. So there's a bunch of marks, but one of them is going to say T for top dead center. You can kind of see the T up in there, right up in there. There's the T. Once that's kind of centered in here like that, come over here, ignore the paint marks, and then there's this line on the front right here, and you want that mark right there to line up with that line right there. Those two right there. Oh, and then whenever you have that lined up, should be good. If you get it timed right and these bolts right here don't line up, I just kept spinning down there, and the crank bolt kept slowly spinning it, and you would see it sliding around inside of this gear, and then finally line up. 2 times it lined up the complete opposite way, so the timing mark would be on this side, but it'd be at top dead center. So just make sure you keep spinning it until it's back at the front and all the bolts line up. All right, I'm now doing the valve adjustment on this little Chinese 125cc Jeep. So the only thing I could find online for the intake side, it says 0.08 millimeters or 0.03 inches, I guess. 0.003. Anyways, 0.08. So make sure it's at top dead center again. I'm making sure it says T there, and then hole lined up there. And then all you do is loosen that retainer nut and then tighten down that middle square there. You just keep threading that down until you're pretty tight down there. And then this feeler gauge should go down there in between the valve and where it's at. And it should have a little drag to it. It shouldn't be hard to get in, and it shouldn't float around. It just should have a little drag like that. And then you should be set right. And now you move on to the exhaust side. Now we're down under the Jeep, and then same thing. Just loosen that nut, tighten down that centerpiece a bunch until it was pretty tight. And then now we got the feeler gauge on there. The only thing I could find online for the exhaust side, see if I get to focus here, was I think it said like 0.13 or 0.15 millimeter, but all I had was a 0.13 was the closest one. And you can see it's not super tight in there, but it ain't gonna just fall right out. So I just want it to have a little bit of drag in there. This might be a little much. Might be a little tight, but that's good because I think it was one size smaller than what I have. So now both of my valves are set right. Don't want a whole lot of movement, just a little bit like that. Just make sure it's at top dead center. That's the most important part.